All right, you're listening to the Brown Perspective, and today we're going to talk about one of our favorite reggaetoneros, traperos, Bad Bunny.
That's
Herrero,
right.
you love Bad Bunny, don't you?
Yeah, almost as much as you do.
I think for those who have been listening to us for a few episodes may know that I am a Bad Bunny fan, super fan, may argue, and Herrero not so much, which is fine because I think I enjoy uh, every now and then being able to show Herrero the amazing, not only the how fantastic artist Bad Bunny is, but how many records, how many barriers, all the good stuff that he's doing. So I'm really savoring this episode, this conversation tonight.
You can call me a work in progress
And yes,
when it comes to Bad Bunny.
yeah. So for Bad Bunny, I think that he's one of those characters who has been in the scene relatively a few years, but he's already living his mark. And I think from those Bad Bunny, for those of you who may be Bad Bunny fans, may recall that from Chambea, when he did that song, great song, he had Ric Flair featured, and then he recently, his recent album, did a song about Booker T. So we all know that he's a big wrestling fan. So because of how big of a fan he is, he was invited to participate in the WWE. And I think it was because the WWE smartly recognized that this guy has quite a following. And about 3 weeks ago, he was invited to the Rumble, to the Royal Rumble, and he became the 24/7 champion. And shortly after, a couple of weeks after that, he was invited to be on SNL, where he did a steamy performance with Rosalia, and then he did another performance where he was only him, and he had his 24/7 championship title. And then he was also in the video, one of the videos that SNL did. And bottom line is that he's continued to break down barriers, and barriers in the sense that yes, there's been Latino artists and Latino singers on SNL before, but this is probably one of the first times I know, and welcome any of you to correct me. But I think this is one of the first times where a Spanish-speaking artist does his songs in Spanish, and to me, it's just beautiful to see. It's just beautiful to see that
Hmm.
it's just we're integrating the in some ways mainstream America is finally embracing the fact that we're Spanish, we speak Spanish, we're Latino, and we're not going anywhere, and that we're an important part of the cultural fabric, the musical fabric, the cultural fabric of this country,
Yeah, and they're starting to realize the importance of the Hispanic market in this country. And
and globally too.
yeah, and just to be clear about it, so I'm not as big a fan of his music as we've mentioned in the previous episodes. In general, like I said, trap music, even trap, not trap in español, but just regular trap, haven't really come around to it yet. Maybe I'm just getting left behind. But when it comes to him as a performer, when it comes to what he's doing as a representative of the Latino community, then he has my full support, and I'm all for Bad Bunny doing these type of things, branching out and getting into wrestling, and SNL was a huge thing too. I'm looking forward to seeing some of the skits. I haven't gotten around to seeing them, but the guy just looks like he has a knack for it. I'm always
Hmm.
surprised every time I see him. He seems like a different person to me because I don't see him as often as you do. You're probably watching his videos every other day, but I come across one of his videos every month or two, and every time I see him, he looks like a different person. I'm like, wait, is this Bad Bunny? Because he'll have like a shaved head, he'll be dressed differently, and that speaks, I think, to his universal appeal, how he can transform so much, and I think that's great. It's fantastic. So let's get into this. Why don't you show me what's going on with this crazy character, and how many what's he doing now to make millions? Because that's what he's doing right here.
Yeah, well, and I'll also mention that I remember when I first came to the US in the early 90s, I really got into wrestling, right? And I remember Monday nights. being that type of appointment TV that I didn't want to miss. And I really enjoyed it. And I think for me, it's also kind of reassuring that I wasn't the only Latino immigrant kid or the little Latino kid that liked wrestling. And I think eventually I grew out of it, right? I was like, maybe I got into other things or whatever the case might have been. But that early love for wrestling and the
Mm,
entertainment, and remembering some of those early matches, I think there's a sense of nostalgia for me too. But yeah, so I
yeah.
think some of the ways that he's making money, obviously he dropped 3 albums in 2020, and this is the Booker T song is that song that is in his last album. So, there he is, the man himself, Booker T. And it's funny because I think from this video and probably with the collaboration with Ric Flair and the fact that his album was #1 on Spotify for a few weeks, if I'm not mistaken. And I think the WE were like, wait a minute, there's this a young Latino trapper out there who can bring a new audience, and let's bring him on
Hmm.
to our our Royal Rumble and see how it goes. And I think it proved to be a pretty successful strategy on the WWE.
Yeah, pretty smart because, as you said, there's a lot of Latinos that grew up on wrestling. And
Hmm.
quick shout out to Ric Flair. His birthday was on February 25th.
Go
So,
Pisces!
Ric Flair, woo! I still remember that. Dude, that's so iconic. I also grew up on wrestling, and I remember the early '90s, the huge battles between the Ultimate Warrior, Hulk Hogan, the Undertaker. I still to this day I still remember when the Undertaker um, took the Ultimate Warrior and he put him in a coffin, and they pretended like they had sealed him in, and then the staff was trying to get him out, and I was so nervous because I actually thought that whole thing was real.
I know, me too. I thought it was real to it, and somehow I figured out it was fake. I was like, no, and I think maybe that's why I stopped
Well,
watching.
I wasn't as disappointed when I found out or when I came to the realization that it was all staged because I mean, I still go to the movies and watch movies and I know they're
That's
fake,
true.
so what's the problem with watching wrestling? It's entertaining. But
That's true, and I guess it would be important to and probably you as a Mexican can speak to, wrestling is very popular in Mexico too. I didn't grow up with that wrestling culture in Colombia, but I know that in Latin America and other parts. I mean, I knew about El Santos and some of the Mexican wrestlers, but it wasn't something that I really didn't get into until I came to the U.S.
yeah, we used to. So we would watch the on Saturdays, Saturday mornings. I believe it was 11 a.m. We would watch the WWF, which was back then World World Wrestling Federation. We'd watch that on Saturday mornings, and then on Sundays at around 4 p.m. It used to be the Triple A wrestling, which was the Mexican wrestling with the mask, with Octagon and Rey Mysterio, and those were the best too. Just great memories as a kid watching all that. And every now and then you had wrestlers that would cross over from the Mexican Federation and then get into WWF, and that was always a great treat. It's like, oh, he made it over. I think there was one time one wrestler that ended up in the Mexican one, and we were like, oh man, it's not going well for this guy.
That's messed up. Why
well,
can
because
it? Why can the exchange go both ways?
well, no, but it's just because the everyone knew that the American Wrestling Federation was the pinnacle of wrestling. So if your career was ascending, that's where you knew that you would ultimately get to. It wasn't the AAA wrestling. So if you were in the WWF and then you went to AAA, then you had gone a step down. Or maybe it was something else. Maybe it was a collaboration, and maybe it was just that. But anyway, I still remember
No,
that. I think it was Jake the Snake Roberts, if I recall correctly. Some
that's funny. And it's funny because so many wrestlers that go on to become, movie stars, Hollywood stars, because of that wrestling platform.
Yeah, so let's get into these videos before we spend the whole episode talking about our memories of wrestling.
Okay. So yeah, so this was 3 weeks ago or so when I guess back in January actually. Yeah, well, I'm sorry, my dates are all messed up, but yeah, this is when he first won it.
So what's going on here? Why is he upset? I know they're acting, but what's the
I
background
think they
here?
they made fun of his boy, so he was just upset. And here's his boy.
His boy is one of these guys.
Well, the guy that's and obviously I haven't been watching for a while, so I don't know this guy's name. I should know his name by now, but
I mean, this
well,
is
here it
funny. This is
is.
entertaining.
Boom,
Yeah.
gets into the
And he
action.
pretends like he hurt himself.
That's right.
Yeah, that's great, man. More, more of that, please. He should just be doing this full time instead of making music. Oh,
Damn. Hey, but he now has options. He now has options. So this was this weekend. So he's back at it.
this isn't. That's not Bad Bunny. This guy's a little bulkier.
Yeah, no, it's not bad, but don't worry, he'll be here with his. Actually, you can see him right there in the back with his
There he is.
24/7 championship belt.
This guy looks like Bad Bunny too. So what's that belt? 24/7. He won that belt in the previous match.
Yes,
Who did
he
he
did.
defeat? Do you know? I
Dude, you're
gotta watch
asking
it.
too much,
Yeah.
man. I know that I should probably have
Now he's
started watching it again, but
yeah. Now he's taunting him. This is
yeah,
what I
so
like
he's
about him. Like, look at how he's dressed. It's like a lot of the times, a lot of these artists, reggaetoneros, they're too afraid to look uncool. They place so much attention on their appearance, and they won't come out and do something like this unless they think they look super fly. That this guy, look at baggy cargo pants. Looks so thin, and like the shoes. He looks like
and
the
those are his
oversized
shoes, man.
sweater.
He has a contract with Adidas, so he's actually promoting his own shoes right there.
I
So
mean,
it's a brilliant marketing scheme.
honestly, those shoes look like the type of shoes that my uncle would wear. I don't. He's supposed to be marketing those. He looks like he picked them up from the garage. Some shoes that have been in the garage for 10 years, and then he just picked them up and put them on.
Yeah. But
Anyway,
to your point, yeah, he's very comfortable. But hey, you need to be wearing some comfortable stuff in order to fly and
like,
and and win wrestling belts.
is what is he gonna wrestle in this one?
Yeah, he'll throw one of the wrestlers out on the right here. You passed it
Oh,
right
I missed
before
it.
that.
So
The
this is the
replay.
so something goes down after the bout ends. He's not gonna throw down his buddy. Oh, there he goes. ¿Quién es ese, el
Here's
samurai?
the drama. Look at this. Beautiful. Then you coming
Okay.
for Bob Bunny?
Yeah.
Bob Bunny got you. Still the champion right there.
So they're gonna bring him back then because he's still the champion.
Yes.
All
Yes, because
right.
obviously he's been popular. I think he's certainly bringing a new audience. And then I think part of the reason of his first appearance on wrestling, then he was invited to again come to SNL. So in SNL, I mean, the first video that he did, the local featuring Bad Bunny, it was funny. But then this is a performance that you like. This is with Rosalia, and rumor has it that at some point they dated. And this song, La Noche, La Noche de Anoche, is one of those songs that that is, I guess, one of those crazy nights, fun nights that you have with somebody you really like. So, and this performance, I mean, the songs, but then towards the end of the performance, they really get physical, just like the in the video. So obviously, people, it was a steamy performance. And hey, what's going on? Wait, what? They're gonna kiss? And everybody's asking, what happened with Gabi? Are they still together?
Who's with Gabi? Bad Bunny?
Bad Bunny, yeah.
Yeah.
She's mostly. They're just friends, okay? Okay.
Well, that's not gonna end here. So this was the intro to SNL, and then he did. Is this a skit that he?
So yeah, so this was the video at the beginning of SNL. So that was his first performance, but this was the video, and if you plays that skit, you can certainly hear the Latin influence. It's just, and also what I noticed about his performance is that it was just him and his belt, his wrestling belt.
Yeah.
So I think that it was obviously still promoting the wrestling. It was just him by himself. So it was a minimalistic performance by Bad Bunny, but overall, really happy that Bad Bunny's doing his thing, making Puerto Ricans, Latinos, and everybody very proud.
This is the first time that reggaeton is featured in SNL.
I think so. I mean, I don't watch SNL that closely, but I'm pretty sure that I probably would have heard if they would have had like Daddy Yankee or Luis Fonsi. Not to say that Luis Fonsi is reggaeton, but Despacito was one of those breakthrough songs.
Would
Um,
would Enrique Iglesias count if they had him?
no,
Why not? He sing reggaeton.
no,
He
he
has a few.
sings Enrique Iglesias music.
Oh, all right then. I
He's
see.
featured.
I get it. I get it. All right, man. Hey, not hating on Bad Bunny. Go get that money. Go, keep being a positive representative of the Latino community. More power to him.
That's right. We can achieve and do anything we put our minds to it. And also when you work hard, because I know that's one of the things that he talks about his songs, that somebody who's really willing to put in the work and get it done. So, but thank you so much for listening to us here at the Brown Perspective. Here are some of the other videos that you can enjoy, some of the other conversations that you can connect with. Yes, we do have a couple of conversations about Bud Bunny and some other musical talents, but definitely enjoy featuring and talking about these pop culture moments. How about you, Herrero? Any closing thoughts for our our audience today?
No, I just for me is now I'm wondering what's Bad Bunny gonna do next. So looking forward to it. What's this guy gonna do? Is what's he gonna come up with? What collaboration is he going to do? Is he going to tell us that he bought Bitcoin? Is he gonna tell us that?
Well, he did buy a $4 million Bugatti, so he's
Yeah,
doing okay.
yeah, no, yeah, it's good. These are pleasant surprises. So more power to him. Hope to see more from him. So let's keep an eye on him.
You got it.
All right, then again, check us out. We are Brown Perspective on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. Nos vemos.
Ciao.